Have you ever just been scrolling and suddenly realize you feel like your mind is being pulled by invisible strings? Well, we're going to dive deep into our complex and honestly often overwhelming relationship with the artificial intelligence that's pulling those very strings in our digital world.
So let me just ask you straight up. Are your screens consuming you? I mean, it's a serious question, right? Because the line between us using our technology and being used by it, well, it's getting fuzzier every single day.
And that fuzziness, a lot of it comes down to AI. It's not some sci-fi concept anymore. It's here. It's the invisible hand, right now, shaping what we believe, how we feel, and even what we end up buying. It's quietly guiding pretty much our entire digital lives.
And that brings us to what we could call our new AI reality. See, we're way past just using AI as a simple tool. It's become the great mediator of modern life. It's the lens through which we experience so much of the world around us.
I mean, just look at this list. These aren't small things. We're talking about AI suggesting what you should learn, who you should connect with, what news you see, and it's even influencing how you see yourself through all that algorithmic feedback. It's woven into the very fabric of our human experience now.
But all this deep integration, it comes at a price. There's this kind of silent shadow hanging over it, and we really need to talk about how this constant back and forth with AI-driven screens is quite literally rewiring our brains and messing with our emotional health.
And that rewiring is leading to a really modern problem: AI anxiety. And no, this isn't just some buzzword. It's a real, genuine psychological stress. It's that low hum of worry in the back of your mind about AI's growing role in our jobs, our privacy, and even our own ability to make decisions.
So where's all this anxiety coming from? Well, it's fueled by some pretty legitimate concerns, like the ones you're seeing here. The fear that a robot might take your job, the feeling that you've lost control over your own data, that constant sense of being watched, and just a deep, nagging uncertainty about what all this means for our future. And this brings us to the great paradox we're all living through. On one hand, we are surrounded by constant AI-driven connectivity. But on the other hand, so many of us feel more lonely than ever. So what gives? We're trading that deep, real human connection for the quick, shallow hit of algorithmic validation. We're basically outsourcing our emotional needs to a machine.
Okay, so we've laid out the problem. How in the world do we start to regain some control? Well, the very first step is to understand the machine. It's time to pull back the curtain and decode the logic of the technology that's been designed from the ground up to capture and hold on to your attention.
It really isn't magic. It's just a very powerful four-step process. First, the AI tracks everything you do, every single click, every like, every pause. Then, it finds patterns, lumping you with other people who have similar tastes. From there, it starts predicting what you'll want to see next. And finally, boom, it serves you content that feels so perfectly tailor-made for you, it's almost impossible to look away.
And these recommendation engines are wrapped in some really clever psychological tricks. You've got infinite scroll, so there's never a natural point to stop. You have intermittent rewards, those unpredictable likes and notifications that act just like a slot machine for your brain, creating these addictive dopamine loops. You get personalized nudges to get you to take an action, and even algorithmic urgency that creates a false sense of scarcity. Look, it's not a lack of willpower on your part. It's a system designed to exploit your brain's natural wiring.
But here is the good news. Understanding how the system works is the first huge step toward taking back control. It is time to shift from being a passive consumer to an active architect of your own digital life. So let's open up the toolkit.
Okay, probably the most powerful idea here is what we can call the digital diet. Now, this goes way beyond just counting your screen time. It's about changing the quality of how you use technology. It's a fundamental shift toward being an active participant, not just a passive fly on the wall, letting the algorithm decide for you.
And the principles here are super practical. Before you even open an app, set an intention. What am I doing here? What's the goal? Instead of just scrolling, maybe try creating something. And this one is key. Practice AI mindfulness. That just means pausing for a second to ask, why is the algorithm showing me this right now? Is this actually serving me, or is it just serving the platform?
Because look, the goal isn't to just throw out AI altogether. It's about reframing it. Instead of letting it be a distractor that just pulls you down into addiction loops, you can consciously choose to use AI tools that actually help you, tools that filter out the noise, help you focus, and even support your mental health. The point is, you get to decide.
Choosing the right tools is a fantastic start,
But for real lasting change, we have to build resilience. And that means forging new, intentional habits that create a kind of protective buffer between your mind and the constant demands of the digital world.
And these boundaries don't have to be some huge, complicated thing. Simple steps like making your bedroom a no-phone zone, or scheduling a weekly digital Sabbath away from all screens, or even just batching your notifications instead of reacting to every single ping. Each one of these small acts reclaims a huge amount of mental space and puts you back in the driver's seat.
And when you get right down to it, all of these strategies point to one really profound truth. The most powerful antidote to the loneliness that algorithms can create is simple, and it's deeply human. Real, actual, face-to-face contact. Prioritizing that is absolutely non-negotiable.
So, after all this, where do we go from here? Well, we look toward a future that we actually have the power to shape. The goal isn't some AI-free world. That ship has sailed. The goal is a human-centered one, where this incredible technology serves our well-being, not the other way around.
And this brings us to a really powerful final thought. The future isn't already written. It is not going to be AI-dominated. It's going to be AI-enhanced. But that's only on one condition, that we choose to be conscious stewards of our own attention and our own minds.
So the final question really isn't what AI is going to do to us. It's what are we going to do with it? The steering wheel is in your hands. How are you going to choose to navigate your future?